Hi everyone, I'm back with Chocolate Fever by Robert Kimmel Smith, and today I'm going to be reading chapter 8, Mac. The truck thumped and rumbled along the superhighway, its powerful headlights cutting a yellow slice through the blackness. "Are you all right up there, kid?" the driver called. From the sleeping bunk set up in the cab of the big diesel, Henry answered, "Right, Mac, I'm okay." Okay, Henry thought bitterly. Sure, I'm okay. I don't have a friend in the world. I look like some sort of sideshow freak. The police and doctors and my folks, and heaven knows who else is after me. And I don't know where I'm going. If that's being okay, then I'm okay. He had stood out on the highway for a long time and watched the day turn into dark. Hundreds of cars and trucks had swept by without stopping, but Mac had stopped and offered him a lift. That was hours ago, and they had come a long way. Henry didn't know how many miles they had traveled or where they were heading. And what's more, he didn't care. He was sure that Mac had not seen his spots. It had probably been too dark to notice them. No one in his right mind would have anything to do with me, Henry thought, not once they got a look at these stupid big brown spots. Even Mac, nice as he seemed, wouldn't have taken a chance if he had seen me clearly. "Hop in," Mac had said. "The weather's fine," a big grin crossing his friendly face. He was a huge black man dressed in dirty coveralls. His truck was clean and warm, and Henry didn't hesitate. After sitting alongside Mac for an hour or so in the front seat, Henry had climbed up to the bunk and had fallen quickly asleep. He didn't know how long he had slept, but he felt rested now. Mac turned the big truck off the highway and onto a service road. Slowly, he shifted down through the gears, and braking gently, he brought the huge trailer to a stop. "Hey, kid," he called, "come on down here." Henry climbed down to sit beside Mac. "Supper time," Mac said. "Now, just as soon as I get the lights on." "I like the dark," Henry said quickly. "You what?" "I like the dark," Henry said, as the lights came on. Henry blinked at the sudden brightness. He's seen me now, he thought. Mac reached down below his seat and brought up a big picnic basket. He placed it between them on the seat. "Now let's just see what that woman gave us for supper," he said. "It's all right," Henry said. "I'll get off here." "Huh?" "I won't make any fuss," Henry said. "I'll just go quietly." "You are a strange one, kid," Mac said. "Now what are you talking about?" "Well, you must see these big brown spots all over me by now." Mac nodded. "Yeah, I see them." He began looking through the picnic basket. "Do you like ham and cheese?" "I'm willing to go," Henry began. "Maybe chicken spread?" "We've got chicken spread too, and I do believe, yes, by heavens, tuna fish." "I mean," Henry began again, "if you don't want to have anything to do with me, I'll understand. I really will." "What'll it be?" Mac asked. "Tuna, chicken spread, or ham and cheese?" He was looking squarely into Henry's face and smiling ever so slightly. "Tuna," Henry said after a moment, taking the sandwich Mac handed him. "Glory be, we eat at last," Mac said. Henry gobbled the tuna sandwich in no time flat. Then he went on to dispose of a ham and cheese, an apple, a piece of raisin cake, and a half a thermos bottle of milk. He was hungry. There was chocolate cake too, but Henry declined it. Somehow it didn't appeal to him. When they had finished eating, Mac settled back and lit a cigar. "Mac," Henry said, "isn't there something you want to ask me?" "Sure, but I figure you're about to tell me what I want to know." "Well," Henry began, "I have this disease called chocolate fever. That's what these big brown spots are all over me, chocolate. And nobody, especially a doctor named Fargo, knows what to do about it. So I'll probably have these spots on me for the rest of my life. And that's why you're running away?" Max said. "I have to run away," Henry said. "I look so terrible and ugly." I wouldn't say ugly, Mac said. Unique, maybe. What's that? Sort of special. But how can I live this way? I'm a freak, a chocolate freak. Easy now, Mac said. Calm down. People will be looking, staring at me. How can I live with people staring at me? Mac chuckled softly. He looked away from Henry. How would you like it, Mac, if people stared at you? You know, kid, I've had some experience of that in my life, the big man said. You mean people stare at you? Uh-huh, Mac said. When you're black, most of the other people are white. That's bound to happen. Gee, Mac, Henry said, I'm sorry. Oh, it's nothing personal, kid. Besides, by the time I was your age, I'd gotten over it. But, getting stared at and some other things got me thinking. If there's so many white people and so few black people, why, that kind of makes me unique. You mean special? Exactly right. So all that staring and stuff, what it did was made me proud. Black is beautiful. That's okay for you, said Henry, but white with big brown spots all over is ugly. Mac put his hand to his mouth and coughed. For a moment, Henry thought he might be laughing. Okay, youngster, he said, have it your own way. Just tell me, where are you going? What do you figure on doing? I'm just running away, Mac, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Mac thought about that for a second and a half. Just flat out running away, huh? Things get too much for you, so you cut out. Brilliant. I won't go back, Henry said. I just won't. Okay, then, you won't go back, but let me ask you something. Do you have a mother? Yes. A father? Yes. Have they been good to you? Yes. Do they beat up on you? Of course not. Do they make your life miserable? No. So they're pretty good parents, right? Right. And you love them because they're so kind and good, right? Yes. Well, how do you think they feel right now? Wondering where you could be, if you're all right. Are you dead, maybe? Yes, sir. You sure are treating them mean. Why, it wouldn't surprise me if your mother was crying her heart out right now, just sick to death, worried about you. But Mac, now you hush till I'm finished with what I've got to say. A good child respects his parents. Yes, sir. A good child don't cause his parents heartache or grief or worry. No, sir. Henry didn't try to say anything, but he was listening very carefully. Now here's my plan, kid. First thing we do is drive down this road till we get to a telephone. Then we call your folks so they can stop worrying. I'm not going back to that hospital, Henry said firmly. Well, tell that to your folks too. Maybe there's someplace else you can go, some other doctor who could take care of you. I like that idea, Henry said. Who knows, Mac continued. Maybe this chocolate fever of yours will go away. Maybe you'll just wake up tomorrow and it will be all cured. I hope so, said Henry, but I don't think so. Anyway, first thing we do is call your folks, okay? Henry smiled. There was something about the way Mac spoke that made him feel so much better. How about it? Mac asked. Should we go find that telephone? What are we waiting for? Henry said. That's the end of chapter 8. Come back tomorrow for chapter 9. Have a great day.